Brought to you by Grow Generation. Today's episode of the Cantina is: whether on Dagobah or Tatooine you are, everything you need to grow right where you are, they have. Later in the episode, more on them you will hear.
Welcome to a galaxy far, far away. Here at the Cantina podcast, we provide top shelf service, including rumors, leaks, news, and reviews. Come in, order a Loman Ale, and remember, no droids allowed.
Hi, welcome back everyone to another week of the Cantina. My name is Cam Clark. This as always is LRM's one and only dedicated and premium Star Wars podcast, YouTube show, and whatever, with two of LRM's biggest Star Wars fans, I would say, but also biggest critics perhaps as well. I am joined as always by Kyle Malone, and we are here to talk Star Wars as always. Few plugs to get out of the way before we kind of start. Just LRMonline.com. Check us out for any news. GenreVerse network. That's where you can, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you subscribe to podcasts, whatever. That's where you can find us. We've got tons of great shows on there. Obviously, the Cantina, which you're watching or listening to right now. We've also got Anime-Verso. We've got Marvel Multiverse Mayhem. We've got Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, and other things on there as well. So like, subscribe, jump on, help us out with that sort of side of things, and hopefully give us some feedback on our content and what you want to see more of as well. Kyle,
absolutely.
So this week, not surprisingly, we're still talking Obi-Wan Kenobi quite a lot, and I guess that's going to be a trend up until the point where it starts, and then we're going to be talking about it because we're going to be reviewing each episode each week, and until it ends, and then we're on to the kind of next thing. But given that the promotional period is now for Obi-Wan Kenobi, it kind of makes sense that every other day we've got an interview with a star, with a director or something. A lot of the stuff that had come initially was coming from EW, the initial kind of early look at it and everything like that. But this week, there's been a lot of news coming out from an article that was done by Total Film magazine. And one of their websites that they own, Games Radar, has been releasing sort of snippets from that across this week, if you like, different sort of questions, things that they've been asking, whether it be the directors, the creators, the stars, whatever. So where we're going to start is actually with a story that we just published today for the first time. And it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi director, Deborah Chow, as I've put in the title, plays coy on Qui-Gon rumours, and also doesn't rule out further stories with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, I know, but, when you see what she says, I mean, she's not saying something like that's going to happen, but, we'll see. First of all, now, when it comes to Qui-Gon rumours, actually, going way back, we were one of the people that said we'd heard that they hadn't approached Neeson for Qui-Gon yet. But anyway, that was a long time ago. That was even before filming had kicked off. So, I think we were just way wrong on that, or we just didn't have the up-to-date information. But the general rumour mill at the moment, and some of it is quite detailed, is that Qui-Gon will appear in Obi-Wan Kenobi, both as a voice and, so MSW say, as a physical appearance from Neeson as well. We're not going to get into the details of that here because it's a little bit spoilery. But when the magazine's obviously spoken to Deborah Chow, they've asked her, so what about Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi? As you would imagine, she's not going to come right out, deny that, confirm it, whether he's in it or not. And maybe if he wasn't in it, she'd just say, nah. But, I think that's doubtful even in that respect. So what did she say? She says, Obi-Wan's going on a journey. There's going to be different people that come into his life. One of the things I was trying to do with this series was to have the legacy and who's important in Obi-Wan's life, and to also have some new characters. So it's going to be a mixture of the two. But I do think there are some surprises to come, I hope. And in terms of I hope, I wonder if she's actually referred to the leaks and of how substantial that they've actually been for this show, because it does feel like every couple of days we're getting more and more plot details. We've not been covering them because they are getting to that point where it's just beyond the level that we kind of want to know ourselves. But yeah, they're definitely out there, and yeah, I think things will change at Lucasfilm. That is my prediction.
Yeah,
I think the amount of leaks that have happened for this show, I think there'll be some asses kicked around Lucasfilm at some point, and there will be ultimately people losing their jobs. Just a prediction on my part, because I think there's sometimes just too much you can do, and I think with that level of detail that's coming out now, I think it's going to be harder and harder to keep those sources secure.
Yeah,
that's why we're kind of just not touching our source at the moment. For obvious reasons.
Towards the end of the show, and sorry guys, I've been dealing with a cold for a couple of weeks. It wasn't COVID. I was trying to do this, not a tumor thing, but my voice. Anyways, at the end of this episode, last topic, dealing with Andor, I got a theory about some stuff at Disney, so we can talk more about it. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's not a denial. It's not, but we think Qui-Gon is in it. I'll be surprised at this point, if we watch the show and Qui-Gon doesn't show up in it based on what we've been hearing, not from our own sources, just what the general buzz is from other people out there, which we have been covering. And we talked about this a little bit last week anyway. So, yeah, diplomatic answer, but, what else do you expect at this point, really?
I said the other day that I hadn't rewatched No Way Home or Ghostbusters Afterlife. I wasn't a fan of Afterlife.
On Discord. By the way,
our
Discord. Discord. So jump onto your Discord if you want to chat. All our stories are going on there. The podcasts are going on there, stuff. And people are just chatting about movies and shit, which is kind of what we like to do. But yeah, feel free to join it on there.
And this is one of those shows that already I was concerned about because of the razor thin area to play between this Rebels / Clone Wars and of course a New Hope.
Well, look, I've been thinking about this, right? And how everybody says the line, and I know I'm jumping in here, sorry, Kev, but everybody talks about the line in A New Hope where he says, "When I left you, I was but the learner, now I'm the master." And people saying, how can that really work? But there's another line that doesn't quite make sense at the moment, right? And I only realised the other day there, thinking about Return of the Jedi. When Vader and Luke speak in Return of the Jedi, and Luke says to him, "There is still good in you, Father." And Vader says to him, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do. You don't know the power of the dark side." And actually, given what we've seen at the moment, that's not really the case if you look at Revenge of the Sith going forward. So there is territory, there's room there to maneuver.
That's the same as people looking to wiggle the... I don't recall ever owning a droid. But
and you wiggle it.
But then you're like, oh, well, Obi-Wan is just lying. Well,
he's not.
He would have had to take R2 to the side and say, "Shut the fuck up."
Put it this way. This is going off genre here, but Kyle's watched Wheel of Time, and we do a podcast on that well, season 1. But remember the Aes Sedai that can't lie. Would Obi-Wan be lying to Luke at that point if he said, "I don't seem to ever remember owning a droid"?
I mean, technically, he didn't own.
He never owned
a droid
at all. He never owned a droid.
But again, like I said, that's people looking for very thin things. He did know R2, and he doesn't know whether or not anybody's brain has been wiped. Clearly, 3PO's has, because 3PO would have blubbered.
Maybe have remembered them. Oh, Master
3PO would have exactly, but R2 is a lying, conniving, bend the rules. R2 gets shit done. I'm not knocking him.
He knows everything that's happening.
Obi-Wan would have dragged that droid to the side and been like, "Look, motherfucker, do you remember? So that's why
maybe
I'm saying
he did off screen.
You really have to
remember.
You really have to play mental gymnastics to make it work.
Goes to find these burned out parents. Obi-Wan's alone with R2. Maybe he got him the same. He said, Listen, motherfucker.
Sure.
Don't tell him about his daddy.
Right. So those are some of the things where I'm like, yeah, sure, you can bend a lot, but you're bending things that you never questioned before. Before this show was ever mentioned, we thought, when I left you, I was but the learner, Mustafar. Obi-Wan once thought as you did. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
I mean, I guess you could go with that line.
That's what I'm saying.
You could make an argument for it. You could.
So,
but
we never questioned any of that. So you look for these thin things, and it's all to do one thing, which comes back to my point about mentioning Afterlife and No Way Home, which is just that I'm so done with nostalgia, and I have no prequel nostalgia to begin with. So when the diner guy is showing up, which I've heard a rumor and honestly believe it, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Qui-Gon, I thought Neeson was horribly underutilized. It's a shame, but I don't care. And Hayden Christensen, I really don't care. I have no love for the Clone Wars to project onto him, and so it all comes down to me being scared. Yeah. With very little to care about, because it's all nostalgia driven.
Going to work for you, so you're going to rate this show based on what it does from the bones up.
Execution.
Yeah. I think the nostalgia will work a little bit more for me. I mean, as you well know, I'm not a prequel fan either, but I like the ideas that were there. They were executed badly, and I think Liam Neeson was good as Qui-Gon. I think Ian McGregor was good as Obi-Wan, but
he was better than Ewan was as Kenobi in that first movie. I don't necessarily
think Hayden was that good, but this is different. This is Vader, so it's a little bit different, and he's never really played Vader, and won't completely be playing him here either, of course, because he's just not big enough. So, I don't know. I think when we look at, for me, it's a chance to say that the prequels could have been good with better execution, and we're going to show you some better execution. That's the prize for me, to actually get a good bit of content where we go, man, that was great.
I hope so.
We had really good drama. McGregor was great in it. There was some good shit happened. There is that opportunity. Whether it delivers on that or not, I don't know. But that's why it's hype, I think, for me, is the potential, is high. But there is a thin line there as well, because you can push it too much and just like eye roll, situation, and they have to be careful about that. And that kind of leads us into the next point, is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a limited series, and Deborah Chow does say this, and I've kind of put it, she isn't ready to rule out further stories. They asked her specifically, could there be any further stories for Obi-Wan in the future? What she said was, look, we really did conceive this like a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's one big story. It was always meant to be. You can never tell what happens in the future. But if another series were to happen, it would be the same process of making sure that there was a real story to tell. Ours is obviously very connected to the prequels, but I love the idea that there can be more stories that are all over the timeline. You when we reacted to this at the start, you're like, no, don't do it. But actually, I mean, there is potential to do more with that character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. What I would say, though, is they couldn't use Darth Vader again. They couldn't do that again. If, it's too much a risk then. And then it just becomes this cat and mouse game that happened between Vader and Obi-Wan. And that just doesn't match what we see in A New Hope. So if they did say, look, McGregor's really keen, what else could we do? What they'd need to do is work out what story they're going to tell. And to me, there's only two possibilities. Either they do a Obi-Wan on Tatooine story, so it doesn't really, kind of like we all thought this story might be to begin with. Could be something to do with some smaller scale, but, exploring the next, it kind of does. That's the problem. Although lack of action doesn't always mean boring if you've got good drama, you know, and we saw that, and I think Moon Knight is a good example of that.
Yes.
Moon Knight is probably the least action I think there's been in any of the Marvel shows, and yet a lot of fans are saying it potentially is either the best or one of the best. Not everyone, because it's just good drama.
Mm-hmm.
And the acting's really good from Oscar Isaac, and you know, something very, very focused on McGregor that could potentially work. The other opportunity is that there's something serious enough to take him off Tatooine again, and we think, well, we know that the reason that there is something to take him off Tatooine this time is danger to Leia, who, you know, kind of Obi-Wan has to protect really just as much as Luke. So if he's in a situation where he feels only he can help, you can kind of understand that. It's a good reason. But you only get one shot at that. You get to do that once. You can't do another season of Obi-Wan Kenobi and go, Leia's been kidnapped again, Vader's after me, or else you're just doing the same thing. And that absolutely is the danger here. So whether another Obi-Wan story could happen or not, I don't know, but I wouldn't think it's something that they should rush into. If you were going to do it, let McGregor age a little bit more again and do something maybe, you know, 5 years' time again, you know, that's maybe something smaller scale, 5 years before A New Hope, you know, give him really grey up his hair and stuff like that and make him look a bit older, maybe. But I'm not jumping out there going, please give me 10 seasons of Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I just, as much as that might be cool in another dimension where we never got the prequels or something like that, it's just not going to work with what we did get.
I mean, the biggest problem is Kenobi is known for one thing, being a Jedi. That means the Force is gonna leave its fingerprints on anything he does. It's because he's a good pilot. He's not Luke. He's not Han. He's not Anakin. He's a good, you know, commander, but he's not a lead from the back, and no one to command. So that means anytime he does something, someone's going to see a lightsaber, see telekinesis, see a Jedi mind trick being used, and you get to the point to where it's like, if he's pinging up all over, they would have been hunting him even more.
Yeah.
And Luke would be in danger. And then, like, so that puts us back on to Tatooine.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, I think that gets us to Leia anyways, is the rumored Jedi boy, male, teen, whatever, you know, young Jedi that shows up, and Obi-Wan gets him off planet to make sure no more attention is drawn.
I think he tells him to go off planet. I don't know
to
if
Tatooine.
he makes it. But
I don't know, but I'm saying is I think that's the catalyst of Obi-Wan leaving, whether that Jedi's killed by the Inquisitors and Obi-Wan runs off to make it, you know, make it not seem like he's been there, or he's getting the boy extracted and he dies later, or he doesn't die. We don't know. I don't know. But I think that's the catalyst. And while he's out there, we run into Bail and this other shit's gone on or something like that. You know. So yeah,
I can see how they could do it once. You know.
And there's nothing else. So it's very scary. It's very scary. Like what's gonna happen? Season 3 of Andor. Andor shows up. And that's like, oh, by the way, we put your address as emergency drop off point. So that to explain episode 4, but you know, that is legit spy. The way spy drops and counterintelligence ops work. There's multiple places, lines of communication to make your info drops, item drops, pick things up, whatnot.
But it's risk. It puts you.
Oh yeah. Well, what I was saying is like some of the people that are like, how did Leia know? No, because Leia shouldn't know Obi-Wan. Otherwise, she would have asked him for help herself, not in her father's name. But they're like, well, how did she know? Well, because they were told on your way from these Death Star plans to Alderaan, here's the safe points. If you have to dump, you dump here, here, or here. That's just the way it works. And that's one of my fears is they're playing with that whole, well, maybe she did know him. She didn't say she didn't in the message. Motherfucker, that's not how you ask someone for help. She would have said, you helped me that one time. You remember that time you saved my life? See, I'm so scared of this show, man. I'm so scared of this show.
But there's nothing necessarily to say that young 10-year-old Leia will know him as Obi-Wan Kenobi and be able to put 2 and 2 together. We've still to wait and see how that works. He's going to use the
Jedi mind trick on her. I'm telling you, she's going to use some force power. It's going to be all dramatic. Leia's Han's theme playing together in the background, interlaced with the force theme. She'll faint. And she won't remember, or he'll wipe her mind. I'm so scared of this show.
Leia?
I'm so scared of this fucking show.
Just some dude called Ben.
I'm so scared.
I'm gonna call my kid that name.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm telling you.
I know
they're gonna figure out why did she name him Ben? It never made any sense.
I hope I'm not sitting here in a month's time agreeing with you about all this, because you're right. You're absolutely right. But I just hope that that's not what they do, and they just aim a little bit higher than that, and we're going, wow, that was amazing. That's my hope. Keep my fingers crossed. But you're absolutely right that this is the fear that of where Obi-Wan
all to get a cool lightsaber fight. One that I genuinely hope is 1,000 times cooler than the.
Well, yeah. I mean, you couldn't do that with Vader anyway, could you? I don't think.
Fuck Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, we just lost all of our subscribers. Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. So remember a while ago, there was this rumor, and it was, we were all a bit like, when this came out, but it came from THR, who's a trade. So normally when they print something, we don't say, like we any rumor from any site, we tend to run as bar side buzz. Not if it comes from a trade, we say this is happening. That's just kind of how trades work. And I'm not saying they're absolutely infallible, but 99% of the time they are correct.
Damn near.
Quite often they get the stuff directly from publicists and things at the studio as well, because they want to leak information. But anyway, so the rumor was at the time that at one point in the earlier version of the script that Darth Maul was involved in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then later on, when the script was revised, that was cut, Darth Maul was cut, and the decision at that point was to bring Vader in instead. The way that made it seem was as if when it went through the last sort of script process that it went through, which Deborah Chow was already involved by that point. However, maybe they were referring to something even earlier than that. I don't know, but Deborah Chow was. That's my theory.
The movie back when it was a movie.
That's what I think as well. Possibly, and unless just THR got this one just really wrong, which happens now and again. So I'm not going to say either way, but that would be my guess that maybe this is what they were doing when it was a movie, and then when it became a series. Maul was already out by that point. Deborah Chow was not attached until it did become a series, and then the script rewrite happened after that, which caused the delay of the show. That's the process that we know that happened at the moment. Anyway, Deborah Chow says that as long as she's been involved, they'd never had Darth Maul in any of it. Dave Filoni did a beautiful job of telling that story already, which is kind of what the fans were saying when this story came out, was like, What? But we've seen that already. What was was this just to show us the animated thing in live action? Because that's and it's actually one of the best parts of Rebels. It's actually like a tiny little fight, but it's really powerful, that fight, I think, because it just shows you difference in where Obi-Wan's gone and where Darth Maul's gone since they faced each other in the Phantom Menace. One's become a venerable master of the Force, and one's not, and Obi-Wan basically kicks his ass in 2 seconds flat and kills him.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's well done. Very
it's well done. Yeah.
Kurosawa type duel.
That's what, it's a strange one, but we've got to talk about it anyway. She did then go on to talk a lot about why Vader is in the mix. For anybody trying to tell a story in the middle of these trilogies, there were only certain elements that made sense in where Obi-Wan is. A lot of the legacy aspects, the decision to bring Vader into it was not made lightly. We're 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Where is Obi-Wan's starting place? What's important to him in his life? Anakin and Vader are a huge and very profound part of his life. We ended up feeling that he made sense in telling this story, and Vader casts such a dark shadow in this that to have Maul as well, it might be a little bit much. On the same article, we also covered a rumour at the same time from about... No, we didn't. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with something else there. So just ignore me. That's later. That's when we get to Andor. I'm talking about.
Got it.
And I guess we could quickly just say that McGregor, we also covered an article just where McGregor was saying that he was genuinely scared to death the first time he shot himself, basically. The first time he saw Vader on set, he kind of, maybe a slight spoiler that he said he turns round and Vader's behind him, so expect to see that at some point in the show. But, when that happened, or even though he knew it was coming up, he was genuinely scared to see the Darth Vader suit kind of in front of him. And I suppose he never really got to appear in any scenes with that Darth Vader. I'm sure he saw it in the Revenge of the Sith set and everything like that, but he doesn't get to perform in any scenes with classic Darth Vader, only as obviously when he was still in his own body at that point and pre-suit. So, cool.
We'll see. Like I said, I think it comes down to the movie and the movie's script. I could see them having wanted to do that, and when they're like rework it into a television script, because I could almost even see, anyways, that. Yeah, if anything, that's where it came, if at all.
That's my thoughts as well. We don't know for a fact, but that's I guess. But we'll take a little word from our sponsors now, and we'll come back to talk some more Star Wars.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation offers the best deals and discounts on the best grow products on the market. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Yeah, that whole thing where I let us talk.
And
thanks, Grow Generation.
Thanks. So where we're going now, Kel, is Tales of the Jedi. Now, this was one that, if you remember back to the last Investor Day when nothing happened, they literally showed us nothing and everybody was really disappointed. But they had some logos, and those logos made us think that at one point there was supposed to be more content covered. Mm-hmm. One of those logos was for something we had never seen or heard of before. Well, the name we had heard of, but from an old Legends book, which is no longer canon, called Tales of the Jedi. There was a logo. It looked like an official logo. We've got it actually on the you've probably got the article up, so the logo is there. That's someone's put that online from what was seen and kind of redid it again with a kind of yellow writing and everything like that. But that's basically what that logo looked like when we saw it on that presentation, which is strange in itself because that came from official sources. So it became apparent, even though there weren't many rumours about it, that there was something called Tales of the Jedi coming. And the best guess people could make was that this was some kind of animated show, because there were no production schedules for it as such. We tend to find out several months before something shoots who's going to be in it, and where it's shooting. You don't kind of get that the same for animated. They can just kind of go into a room, they can do their own thing, and unless you're getting leaks out, then you don't find out about it until sometimes after the fact. I mean, Bad Batch kind of came out of nowhere and was in a almost finished state before we. I mean, I think KRT were the only ones that had rumoured that was coming prior to that, and it was in a very completed state at the point we heard about it. So we know that Star Wars Celebration's coming up in May, and they've released information about the panels, the different things that you can go to and that you can see, and who's going to be talking about what on all the different days of Star Wars Celebration. And they have a panel for Tales of the Jedi, which kind of makes it official. And we do have an official blurb of what it says on the panels, which is the Star Wars Celebration site. So it's coming from official sources. This is not rumours or anything like that. And it says, introducing Tales of the Jedi, animated anthology shorts, hosted by Amy Ratcliffe with special guest Dave Filoni. Now, if Dave's a special guest on it, one would imagine he's somehow involved with that show, animated in some way. Why would he turn up for that panel, that presentation, if he's not involved in the show in some way? What exactly it is, I don't think we know for certain. But if we go kind of by the old Legends book, it was a series of anthology stories, or was it a comic? Was it a comic? It was a comic, right? And it was a series of anthology stories about Jedis in various different periods, I believe. I don't think I've read the comic, but that's what
I know. It was definitely at least as far back as the old Republic, 5,000 years.
Right.
They at least covered part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it covered a variety of different sort of time scales, and I guess that's why fans have thought, well, what if we're just getting that now, but with just new stories, not necessarily taking those same old stories, but taking new stories. I mean, some of them may be able to convert it because they might not break the canon in any way whatsoever, based on what they were. Again, I've not read them, but that's kind of what we think. The fact that they're shorts as well, what I'm thinking is Star Wars Visions, but not anime.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking from it?
That's what I'm thinking.
And probably not different art styles. I'm thinking probably one art style all the way through it. Or else you would have different studios involved, like Visions.
Maybe what if it were what's the word I'm looking for? What if it was all like the Filoni style?
I mean,
and just anthology, different stories.
I think fans would be happy with that because I've get used to that style.
I wouldn't. I would love some 2D traditional. I'm not against the 3D, but I can't stand their Disney Channel Nickelodeon looking shit.
I never loved the animation on either Clone Wars or Rebels, but I prefer the Clone Wars style to Rebels, which they're slightly different. I definitely prefer the Clone Wars to that. But yeah, I guess when it comes to cartoons, I'm a bit old school. I just want to see a cartoon where it's people that are drawn normally. I don't need them to have elongated bodies or or certain styles to them. But based on the fact that Dave Filoni is animation, that's his background, and that he is the kind of ended up the showrunner of the Clone Wars, was one of the creators and showrunners of Rebels. I would guess that it would be whatever style he's gone for this, and it would be more similar to them than dissimilar, if that makes sense. Would you watch it if it's a similar animation style?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot. If it's still aimed at 10-year-olds, I'm probably not going to like it. But if they take a more all ages, I've seen those clips online where they say, Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars is just for kids, and then they show you clips they show
the
like 5-6 different things across 7 seasons of one, 4 seasons of another that are really, really dark, and it's like, guys, but I think the OT had dark shit too, and so did the prequels.
All of those shows, I think, got darker as they went along. I think they both started off too light, but both kind of got interesting when they got darker later on. Because even as a kid, I liked the dark cartoons more than
so did I.
Like Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. That was
so
fucked up, so.
I'm a weeb, so I was ruined by anime. Like, I need dismemberment and disembowelment and at least 3 orgies going on before I'm like, okay, now this is getting interesting.
So I guess I'm
hope
sure
it's
we'll
good.
Find out more at Star Wars Celebration. But yeah, Tales of the Jedi is kind of.
I would love, like you said, through different time periods, super old. I always wanted to see the lightsabers on battery packs that you see in the old Legends stuff. But super old, maybe even before lightsabers. Something in the old Republic, something in the High Republic, something of another Jedi we never saw during the Civil War and immediately following. And then something like 1,000 years in the future, like that would be really, really cool. Let someone imagine
might not go
1,000 years in the future. Why not 1,000? It's an anthology. 1,000 years. Why not?
It kind of still tells you something about if they ever decide to go there in live action. It kind of the difference with the Star Wars Vision one that was set in the future is it's not canon, so they can kind of just do whatever they want.
Does this
Although
have to
we
be
liked
canon?
it enough that we said, well, I don't know. We don't know. Maybe they'll tell us it's not canon and then go 10 years in the future for all I care. It's absolutely fine. But if they make it canon, I just don't think that they will go into the future yet until they've decided
1,000 years about some Jedi named Bog who has to.
What if they later decide that they don't want to have any Jedi left in the future or something like that? There's some big event that destroys the Force or something. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good idea, but
I hate you.
I get what you mean. I would like it to be interesting, but I guess we don't have too long to wait. And I'm imagining if they've been working on this in the sly kind of thing, that we might even see some brief footage or something of it. We got a little bit of visions before it came out, but not too much. There's another part of this article that I wrote where I'd said that it was interesting that Rogue Squadron wasn't mentioned at all at CinemaCon. Actually, one of our readers had commented to say, well, they were actually only announced saying this is Disney's slate for the next 12 months. So even if Rogue Squadron was still coming out in December 23, it probably wouldn't have been mentioned. I kind of think, they would have, if it was still there, because they would have wanted to promote it. It's the first Star Wars movie in a while. But it ain't going to come out in December 23, is it now? There is no, hints of a production date being set for it that we know of, Maybe there is and we don't know about it yet, but there's nothing from Production Weekly, there's nothing from any of our sources, there's nothing from any of the other sources that I've heard that are saying this is when or if we think, Rogue Squadron's going to film. So it's not going to be out and ready for December 23. It ain't happening.
Highly
it's going
doubt
to be at least 2024 before we see that film.
I mean,
100%.
you would think that's easily a solid year production of pre-film and editing. Solid year at least.
Yeah.
You would hope.
At least.
You would hope.
I mean, that's modern. I mean, think of how long it used to take them to film Star Wars films back in the prequel days. It was like 3 years a movie.
Yeah.
And I know it is a lot quicker than that now, and I know they could use things like the volume to cheat a little bit. But we had heard that there was some technical limitations that they were having to resolve, which is one of the main reasons for it being kind of delayed, even though it's never officially been delayed by Disney. But hey, it's not happening in December 23.
What?
Maybe
What?
24, maybe 25. Don't know. Maybe it won't happen at all. But
Watch
until they maybe mention, unless they tell us at Star Wars Celebration, here's the status, and then this is what's happening.
That's what I was going to say. Watch them show up having already filmed a whole bunch of shit in secret.
These days,
no, that's the thing. That's the conspiracy theory, and it'll roll us into the next topic. That's the thing. All the leaks on Kenobi were to cover for Rogue Squadron. Nah.
And it kind of does lead us on to the next thing, which was Andor. And I think it was last week we talked about, there was I remember that Andor season 2 might be filming imminently, but it would have an unusual, I can't say that word correctly, sorry, unusually long filming period of potentially 18 months. And people were wondering, were they filming seasons back to back? We also had, for one of the people who worked on Andor, saying that originally he was told it was supposed to be 5 seasons, but that has since been split to being only 3 seasons long, as far as he knows. So that's where the kind of theory came from. Then we have all the theories that Andor season 1 was really long, because it did have season 1 had a really long shoot. I know they were location shooting, they weren't using the volume stage, the stagecraft stuff for that one. Maybe that's all it was that's caused the running time to be, or the shooting time, to be longer. But I don't know. We heard rumours that it could be up to 12 episodes long, that first season. I guess maybe we'll find more at Star Wars Celebration as well about that one. But there was a rumour, and just who was it that actually that rumour came from originally?
The Royal Guards or the other one?
No, sorry.
The first one, making Star Wars.
Yeah. So, So this was Screen Rant that have contacted Disney about making Star Wars' claim that they had made that the Andor season filming 2. I think they said it should film in sort of November and would film for 18 months. So this is what Screen Rant says about that. Well, reports from Making Star Wars fall in line with Skarsgård's words about an autumnal start to filming for Andor Season 2. Yeah, he did say that it would be filming this autumn, so that has to be true. A spokesperson from Disney has since told Screen Rant that this rumour is not true. Making Star Wars had shared that a source from Elstree Studios, where the original Star Wars trilogy was filmed, said that filming for the series' sophomore mode season would begin in November. What are they saying isn't true? This is what I don't get about this debunked kind of thing. So, Skarsgård says it's filming in November. Are they saying he's wrong and it's not filming in November? Or are they saying that he's wrong, that they're wrong, that it's not going to film in Elstree Studios? You know, because you could read that either way. Or that it's not got the really long shooting period that Making Star Wars claimed. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if they actually responded to this in any way, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I've not looked into it yet, but that'd be interesting to see, because you know, they've got a Disney source or a Star Wars source, and they've told them this, but what? Again, I'm not still sure what they're actually saying here. Just with the spelling mistake in this article as well, but ignore that.
So, I wrote down coin op for what those uninitiated in military lingo, counter intelligence operation, coin.
Mm-hmm.
See, so we know there's been a shit ton of leaks in Star Wars, more for Kenobi than Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home combined. Honestly.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you on No Way Home. The entire thing was out there. It was. I just didn't share it all with you guys, but I think definitely more than Multiverse of Madness.
I'm saying between some of the stuff that we've potentially heard that hasn't been mentioned, plus all the stuff that we've seen that is on there, it's maybe equal then. Maybe equal. Or slightly less in Cam's opinion. But what if now we're at a counterintelligence operation where Disney's going to come out and give official words that are contradictory and maybe truthfully are 100%, that story is false, but what if Disney is also putting spin on things and debunking things to try to bring discredit? Is there any legality issues to that? Would it depend on how they word it? Like,
if they've got a source and they're saying tell people this and tell people that, I don't see how that can be illegal in any way, because there's no trace back officially to them. Would they do that? Has this ever? I know Sony have done this.
We've never had a leaks situation like the last couple of years. So I don't think there would be a precedence for a legit. We know they've.
What?
That I was going to say we know that there's been false scenes handed to actors and false scripts leaked online. But as far as like an active one,
trailers and edited into trailers has happened as well.
I don't consider a counter op though. As far as someone trying to discredit or disprove someone, that is different than we're gonna bleep, not bleep out, censor out someone from a trailer to hide the surprise despite the leak.
Yeah.
That's different. I'm talking Disney outright saying that person is lying or going out with other intel through official channels, like actual counterintelligence, because something's got to be done. I mean, and we're in this business too. We're in the business of reporting on this stuff. We are not you guys haven't heard us put out any scoops in a while. It's not our bread and butter. It's talking regular news and giving our thoughts and opinions on stuff. But this
Plus the thing is worth saying that, when things are as hot as this, you really just want to protect your sources as well so that you don't lose them,
And,
so
and our interview team who like getting interviews from Disney
you don't want to
production.
So exactly. Either.
So, but it's been so bad, and like I said, there's the only way you get people to not eat this stuff up is to discredit those that put it out as much as you can to try to turn people off of this whole game. Make the audience upset at the too many wrongs for just a few rights, as it starts swaying that way through a counter intel op, or by pissing off the content creators enough that they start seeking elsewhere. Is that a possibility? I'm not saying that is what's happening.
Well, here's why I think it would be illogical in some sort of sense, because if Disney do a discredit operation but the information was correct, then the fan base finds that out once the show or film's released. Because
for certain things like characters,
that guy was right. That guy was right. This really did happen.
Right, for certain things about like characters, but what about filming schedules and
a filming schedule you can't hide. You can't hide a filming schedule. I mean, even one that's filming in the volume, we still know when it's happening. There's permits that have to. There's booking slots. It's
exactly.
You can't necessarily know what they're filming because it's behind closed doors.
There's that,
and I don't think that's the problem. I don't think the problem is what they're filming for Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anyway, it's the amount of story details that are coming out about it beforehand.
But like you said, you can't discredit people on things unless someone said something was in there, Maul, and now it's not. Disney can say it never was, and you'll never be able to prove that.
We'd never be able to prove that either.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what's going on, but there's been a lot of people that have said that they're wrong now by Disney, and it's weird.
And you wouldn't, I don't think, try to discredit THR as much, but then trades do say things, and usually the company line when they don't want to talk about it is Disney refused to comment. I don't know.
It's just weird,
It's a strange one. I don't know how good are Screen Rant sources, because I wouldn't call them a trade.
They're like,
I don't know,
one tier above us before the trades. I don't know.
Are they?
No, CBR is the CBS guys. I don't know.
I don't know. They're not they tend to just. It's more and then they do the videos and all that sort of stuff is their kind of bread and butter, I think, more than doing scoops like a trade does. I don't really see them that way. Maybe I'm wrong, but no.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to make the jump.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see on that. But to answer your question, would they do counter operations? I think they've done it before. I would say I know of a couple of times when this has happened, but it's not been for stuff like we're discussing here. It's been for like trailer drop dates, which we've discussed before.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to just delay that a week.
Yeah.
Because Lucasfilm have done that at least 3 times that I know of, and Sony's done it quite deliberately once for one of their trailers. They kept pushing it back by an hour every time one of the leakers was saying it's coming in an hour or whatever. They just kept pushing it back. So they absolutely were messing with that guy that day. So that's the time I was talking about. 100% Sony have done it, but that was just the once. But I think Lucasfilm have done that on 3 other separate occasions, but for that kind of content, I don't know if they could do it with this.
I don't know.
Don't know if it could.
So why are several sources that were good and gold and all of a sudden have little things, nothing big, just little things?
I mean,
they were wrong.
Just it could be the way somebody's picked up the information. So at the end of the day, it's Chinese whispers, isn't it? So unless you're sitting in the Lucasfilm office seeing this stuff for yourself, you can't form an opinion on it. No, I'm just totally speculating here. So this isn't so, and it doesn't. I'm not referring to making Star Wars, or you could add us into that. You could add Basement Bulletin. So that's me just shooting the shit and giving an example. Right? Let's say your source is a guy who does photocopying in the office, right? And they occasionally see and hear little bits of information from other people, but they're not really involved themselves. It's very easy in that respect to pick up sometimes wrong information, and for you to believe, well, they work there, so they must know this, but it's kind of the way it's been picked up slightly wrong. It just happens, even at, our sources have got a couple of things wrong in the past, and I kind of can see why it happened, and I understand it. And I guess that can absolutely happen to anyone out there. I don't think there's anyone that's outside of a trade that's got a 90% hit rate or above. That's unheard of, really. I think I would say anyone that's got 60 or 70% hit rate is really, really solid, and I would trust them most of the time. But I would always say
baseball,
take with a pinch of salt.
In baseball, you dream of batting 300. That's good. That's golden, man. If you're basically hitting 1 out of 3, that's golden in baseball.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a game where you hit a ball with a stick. I don't like those games. Any of them. I don't even like the British ones either. So that's not me being anti-American. I don't like cricket. That's horrible. And so I don't know. Crumpets? I mean, I don't think there necessarily needs to be an answer, and I don't think we will ever really find an answer to that. As I said, I'm not saying this is something I've heard or anything like that. My opinion is that the leaks for Obi-Wan have been more persistent and more spoilery than any Star Wars we've had since the 2 bad robot films, because there was quite a lot of spoilers for Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith. I mean, Revenge of the Sith, arguably, might
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Not Revenge of the Sith. that completely different situation. Stupid name, Rise of the Skywalker for a fucking film anyway.
Fucking hell.
That's why I think I've just blocked it out of my brain completely. But yeah, Rise of Skywalker, I mean, I knew almost the entire plot of that from start to finish going in. You didn't, and I wasn't sharing that stuff, but it was there. So I arguably maybe even knew more. I've been trying to stay away from the Obi-Wan ones. Like when I see something like story details, I'm like, okay, just push that to the side and stay away from it because I don't really want to know. But some things I've picked up, that I would rather not. But certainly I wasn't really that bothered with Rise of Skywalker because I knew it was going to be a train wreck. And everything I read told me it was a train wreck. And then I thought, well, I'll watch it and maybe, in execution it'll be much better, because people slagged off. There was a lot of leaks about Endgame and people were like, this can't be real because it sounds shit. And then when people watched the movie, they loved it. So, you've kind of got that side of things as well. But unfortunately, in Rise of Skywalker situation, watched it and it was just as shit as the outline had suggested it would be anyway. Anyhow, there's with this many leaks and when they've been so good with the Mando stuff, I think that's my opinion. I said it earlier on, is that they're going to clean house, whether that's happening now or whether that'll happen in the future, or whether, I don't even know if they hire a variety of different, if there's like an in-house team that go into different shows, or whether they have different teams for every show. Maybe just some of the people they hired for Obi-Wan have been really leaky, I don't know. And it might be someone that's not involved in anything else going forward, for all I know. But
could be.
Whatever the situation, I think, there's going to be some ass kick. There has to be. They can't have this level of leaks for every show that they do going forward. So wherever that is coming from, I think they have to button it up, or at least that person, if they get away with it, has to just tighten up for a little bit and protect themselves, because. Well, I would never. If we ever found out like one of our sources lost their job, because I would feel so bad for that.
Awful.
Because they're doing a job that I would dream to do. Which is working on Star Wars. Even if you're
even a shitty Star Wars, I still worked on it.
Photocopier guy, you're photocopying pictures of fucking Star Destroyers. You're not photocopying stats for your shitty boss at work, and that's kind of cool, isn't it? So even the coffee guy that works in Lucasfilm, he gets to see some cool shit, So
talk to cool people, get an autograph.
I'd never want to be involved in that. So my priority would always be protection first, rather than having to kind of spoil stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not just to control what other people do, and it's their own thing. But I just can't see it lasting. If we get whatever the next show is and we get a ton of leaks for that as well, I hold my hands up and say I was wrong, man. Lucasfilm don't know what they're doing, and they can't seem to put a lid in this. But I just get a sneaky suspicion that that it'll be less leaky possibly going forward for some of these things. I guess we'll find out.
Hopefully, although I personally would rather see more leaks about Ahsoka than Kenobi. Because the only thing I'm more scared of than Kenobi is Ahsoka and the fucking world.
Yeah, but
and the world between
worlds. I think we
worlds.
just need to kind of wait for that to hit and then see how it goes. I'd rather just, I'm okay with cast, like we always are, cast and stuff like that, and we kind of know some of that already. Some of it's been kind of done by trades. We've kind of revealed some stuff which some other people might have disagreed with recently, but we'll just have to wait and see how that one pans out. That kind of stuff. Maybe they filmed this. Look, we could see this in the background. I don't mind that sort of stuff where you're in pure speculation territory. And if there's one shot of something that looks like World Between Worlds, you will absolutely freak out, and it'll be so funny. But I think I'm hoping it's a kind of show that I don't know it all before I go into it. I kind of do want to be surprised by Ahsoka, whether it's bad surprise or whether it's good surprise. I know which one I want, but we'll wait and see how that goes.
Yeah. Anyways, man,
My voice is almost gone. Can you tell the people about the YouTube channel and stuff?
Yeah, so we've got this YouTube channel. It's kind of like cool. And you can find us in the GenreVerse podcast network, and GenreVerse is our YouTube channel as well. So you can kind of jump on there, subscribe, press a few buttons, and then, as you know how YouTube works, whenever we release an episode of one of our shows, like Cantina, like Animaversos, like Breaking Geek Radio, some of those are weekly. So every time we produce it, it gives you a little notification on your YouTube to say, hey, see that show you like? It's out again this week, so go and listen to it. So please do that, because it helps us to obviously grow and keep providing, hopefully, entertaining shows for you to watch, if possible. Where can people find you, Kyle?
At that Kyle Malone on Twitter.
Yep. Or at the clinic getting his voice fixed.
Yeah.
Whatever comes first. You can find me at LRM_Cam. As I said earlier on, any of our articles have a Discord link at the bottom of them, and I think Kel's going to put it in the video as well. So if anyone wants to, that does read our articles or watches any of our shows, and you've got opinions on what we say, or just opinions on movies and the geek shit you're into, games, whatever you're into, really, hoity-toity movies, we'll talk about that if you want. Whatever you want, just jump onto Discord, join in with us, start chatting, and hopefully enjoy yourself, because that would be cool as well. On that note, Kyle, you can finish off with your usual.
May the force be with you guys. Bye.
Bye.